and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Morning, everyone. I'm still sharing here. Give me a second. Hi, Jackie on Instagram. I'm still sharing. Things are a little slow today. All right. I am done sharing. Sharing on the topic of disease. All right. I already know that Facebook is running slow. So I'll probably sit here until the 2-minute mark and get going. Oh, there we go. All right. People are showing up. Talking juice. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hey, David, good to see you. Good afternoon. That's how I know that Facebook is running slow, because I said hi before David. Usually he's on here. Bam. So, all right. If you are here, whether you're watching live or the rewatch, please say hello. Yeah. I was kind of thinking about something this morning. I'm going to share it a little bit and let you guys know my education. Hey, Gary. I have my GED. I was at CAC when I was 20. And I have a recovery coach certificate. That's it, guys. Everything else I have taught myself by reading, watching, therapy, AA, having tough conversations with other people to find out what's actually going on in this weird world that we live in, right? So I also made a decision this weekend, and I am going to go ahead and take one of the jobs at Detox. I'm gonna see if they're willing to take me on part-time, because I need to find out what it's like at Detox again. It's probably changed, and I'm probably missing some things. That, and I need to know what these people are going through. That, and I love working at Detox. That was the whole point of doing all this. Because 4 years ago, I got pissed at the fact that they would not accept my application because I did not have. So don't tell me it can't be done. Don't tell me that you can't go out and advocate. I created this fucking job. I didn't create it, but I got them motivated. So, yeah, that's my decision. I'm happy with it. Going to work part-time at Detox, if they'll let me. I don't even know if that's a possibility. If they hire part-time, they may not do that. So, but we will find out, and God will work it out. Because when I was talking to him, he asked me, he's like, well, are you looking? So I already wrote them an email. Today we're talking about a unique stability. A unique stability. And this comes out of the 12 traditions, the 12 by 12 on 132 and 135. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We'll see how we will get this worked out. 132, tradition 2. All right, so tradition 2. For our group purpose, there is one There's but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscious. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. Right? I use, say you're chairing a meeting. Right? I never, ever, ever decide a topic before I chair a meeting. I might come up with something to, read or something. But usually, maybe right before the meeting, I'll kind of figure something out because somebody may have something else. Just because I'm thinking the meeting needs to go this way doesn't mean that it's going to. Hey, Chris, good to see you. See, your job when you're chairing a meeting is to keep the flow of the meeting going, not to control it. God takes care of that. Okay. So if nobody's talking, call on someone. Make it a popcorn meeting. Right. Um, there are some meetings that are okay with just sitting there with total silence. I love quiet. I do. I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids. I've got a huge family. I'm okay with no noise. But don't go to a meeting to just not say anything. Okay? I know the problem. I know the problem. I do. Public speaking is the number one fear. And then death. People would literally rather die than speak publicly. And you're in a room with your peeps, man. You are there. If you are going to a meeting to just listen, this is my experience. My sponsor told me, Dion, if you're going to a meeting to just listen, don't even bother. You are there to share your experience, strength, and your hope. That was the direction that I got from my sponsor for me. Whether that works for you or not is something entirely different. But try. You know how I got over my fear of public speaking? I do a lot of public speaking. I still get nervous when I do this. Sure, I do. I get a little nervous when I do this. I get nervous when I go share my story. I get nervous when I'd be nervous tomorrow when I'm talking to everybody at Aurora Mental Health. I was nervous when the cop came and picked me up and we went. I got through it, right? Got through it. I didn't change my shirt today. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of housework. Let's get to this, right? Well, we already said are. A unique stability. Where does AA get its direction? These practical folk then read tradition to learn that the sole authority in AA is a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscious. All right. So, a group conscious. Do you have a home group? No, I don't. Get a fucking home group. Number one, get a home group. I'm going to say it again. Get a freaking home group, would you? You have to be accountable to a set of people. You do. Right? You have to be accountable to a group. If you don't show up for a week, like I wasn't able to get to my live meeting, my in-person meeting at all this last week. Kind of ticks me off. And they're probably wondering where I'm at. I haven't gotten any calls or anything yet, but I'm going to try and get my face back down there tomorrow. Maybe. I think I have a tour. The rap meeting's tomorrow. Okay. See, I'm getting too busy for all this. Okay. So what I was getting to is get a home group and go to your group conscious. See what it's like, man. I tell you now, that's where the fights happen. Okay. That is where you're going to learn principles before personalities. Just go. You don't have to say anything in that one, right? But at least go and listen. Find out what kind of service work they have. Maybe they have. Maybe you would like to go to do meetings at treatment centers. I'm going to tell you now. There's going to be a lot of meetings at detoxes now that I'm working there, and all of you are more than welcome to come along because I may even Zoom it. I don't know. The elder statement is the one who sees the wisdom of the group's decision. who holds no resentment over his reduced status, whose judgment fortified by considerable experience is sound, and is willing to sit quiet on the sidelines, patiently waiting for developments. That's usually what I'm doing. If I feel like I need to say something or add something, then I will. But usually, if I am not in a position of service, then, but if you're not going to the group conscious, then keep your freaking mouth shut about how the meeting runs. You don't have, it's like if you didn't vote for president, you don't get any say so. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Maybe that'd be a good topic, Chris. Grace. The other thing that I've noticed about service work is it is for a limited amount of time, usually a year. Okay. Then you need to step down. There was somebody, they were celebrating his 20 years of service as treasurer for a group. What a disservice. That is a disservice to other people that could have had this service work. Do your service work and then move on. Try a dip, because what happens? You will begin to rest on your laurels there. Oh, I'm comfortable here. Well, then it's time for some change, is what it's time for. I'm going to read like the last couple paragraphs of Tradition 2. It's usually where they sum everything up. Oh, yay, porn. I think I'm just going to get rid of my YouTube. There, I don't use it for anything. It goes right into a stupid Charlie bringing stuff up. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and read this. If you guys want to hang on, cool. If not, then it's just kind of the way it's working out. So this is probably going to go closer to 20 minutes, guys. One day I was doing a 12-step job at a hospital in New York. The proprietor, Charlie, summoned me to his office. Bill, he said, I think it's a shame that you are financially so hard up. Sorry. Okay. All around you, these drunks are getting well and making money. Sorry. I'm sorry I keep laughing at this, because it's me. I'll make shit doing this. All right. But you're giving the work full time and you're broke. It isn't fair. Sometimes it doesn't feel fair. But I'm going to tell you something. Bill was getting paid a lot more than that doctor thought. Let's get to it. All right. It isn't fair. Charlie fished in his desk and came up with an old financial statement, handing it to me. Continue. This shows the kind of money the hospital used to make back in the 1920s. Thousands of dollars a month. It should be doing just as well now, and it would if only you'd help me. So why don't you move your work in here? I'll give you an office, a decent drawing account, and a very healthy slice of the profits. 3 years ago, when my head doctor, Silkworth, began to tell me of the idea of helping drunks by spirituality, I thought it was crackpot stuff. But I've changed my mind. Someday, this bunch of ex-drunks of yours will find Madison Square Garden, and I don't see why you should starve meanwhile. What I propose is perfectly ethical. You can become a lay therapist and more successful than anybody in the business. So he doesn't have. Bob kind of was. Bill was not a therapist. He wasn't. He was just a very, very smart stockbroker. I told you guys my education. I have my GED and my certificate to be a recovery coach. You think it's about education? It partially is. You have to be educated. And you can educate yourself. Go pick up a DSM-5. It's going to be tough reading. Pull out a dictionary too then. Okay? Don't be afraid to read new stuff because you don't understand the words. That's how I learned. Right? I picked up books. If I didn't understand it, I had a big red dictionary sitting right there. So, all right. Anyway, I was bowled over. There were a few twinges of conscience until I saw how really ethical Charlie's proposal was. There was nothing wrong, whatever, with becoming a lay therapist. I thought of Lois coming home to exhaustive department store each day, only to cook supper for a household of drunks who weren't paying board. I thought of the large sum of money still owing my Wall Street creditors. I thought of a few of my alcoholic friends who were making as much money as ever. Why shouldn't I do as well as they? You bet I have a master's in real life. Yay, coughers and smokers cough. All right. Although I asked Charlie for a little time to consider it, my own mind was made up about it. Racing back to Brooklyn on the subway, I had a seeming flash of divine guidance. It was only a single sentence, but most convincing. In fact, it came right out of the Bible. A voice kept saying to me, "The laborer is worthy of his hire." I really need to hear all this right now, guys. Arriving home, I found Lois cooking as usual, while three drunks looked hungry on from the kitchen door. I drew her aside and told her the glorious news. She looked interested, but not as excited as I thought she should be. Not would be, should be. He had an expectation, didn't he? It was meeting night. Although none of the alcoholics we boarded seemed to get sober, some others had. With their wives, they crowded into our downstairs parley. At once, I burst into the story of my opportunity. Never shall I forget the impassive faces and the steady gaze focused upon me. With waning enthusiasm, my tale trailed off to the end. There was a long silence. Almost timidly, one of my friends began to speak. "We know how hard up you are, Bill. It bothers us a lot. We've often wondered what we might do about it. But I think I speak for everyone here when I say that what you now propose bothers us an awful lot more." The speaker's voice grew more confident. "Don't you realize," he went on, "that you can never become a professional? As generous as Charlie has been to us, don't you see that we can't tie this thing up with his hospital or any other? You tell us that Charlie's proposal is ethical. Sure, it's ethical, but what have we got here won't run on ethics only. It has to be better. Sure, Charlie's ideas were good, but it isn't good enough. This is a matter of life and death. Bill, life and death, Bill, and nothing but the very best will do." Challenging my friends looked at me with their spokesman continued, "Bill, haven't you often said right here in this meeting that sometimes the good is the enemy of the best? Well, this is a plain case of it. You can't do this thing to us." So spoke the group conscious. The group was right and I was wrong. The voice on the subway was not the voice of God. Here was the true voice welling up out of my friends. I listened, thank God, and I obeyed. Everything there just told me not to take the job, right? No, I'm asking the group. And the group conscious has spoken, and they want me at detox. And I'm doing it part-time so that I don't take my time away from you guys. Don't think that I haven't thought of that. I am giving up some of my joy to go do this. So, but whenever I think about it, it makes me happy. So, into the fabric of recovery from alcoholism are woven the 12 steps and 12 traditions. As my recovery progressed, I realized that the new mantle was tailor-made for me. The elders of the group gently offered suggestions when change seemed possible. Everyone shared experience that became the substance for treasured friendships. I know that the fellowship is ready and equipped to aid each suffering alcoholic at all crossroads in life. In a world beset by many problems, I find this assurance a unique stability. I cherish the gift of sobriety. I offer God my gratitude for the strengths I receive in the fellowship that truly exists for the good of all members. And for me, that comes back to creating recovery equity, giving everybody the same shot at sobriety. All right. And that's where I went and educated myself because I know all the different routes to sobriety. I may not be intimate with them like I am with AA, but I am aware of them. I know, some of them are different. I like AA because I like the structure. I'm a Virgo and I like structure. I like knowing we're doing this at that time. Don't ever tell me you're coming over that you'll be there shortly because I don't know what that means. Give me a time limit. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. I will be back tomorrow for daily reflections. Might be a little, actually, it's probably going to be really early. So, all right, guys, I love you. Peace out and have